What's up, everybody? This is Acid Light. Welcome back to my channel. Yes, we're about to talk about the new Mortal Kombat movie, so spoilers ahead. If you haven't seen it, you probably don't want to watch this movie. Although I will say once you've seen it, definitely come back to this video because I would love to hear your thoughts on what I'm about to say. The point of this really, I'm going to talk about 5 things that I noticed that was different from lore. And some of these things, honestly, they're not a big deal at all. Some of these things I thought were very good ideas and I like the changes. And then, you know, there were some cases where I was kind of questioning, like, this doesn't really make any sense to me, in my opinion. Now, I'm not a Mortal Kombat expert on the history of lore or anything like that. I do read up on it a good amount, but I still wouldn't call myself an expert. So if there is something I got wrong, please post in the comments below. Or if there were more changes to lore that I didn't see, again, please post in the comments below. I would really appreciate that. The first core difference from lore that I noticed was the very beginning of the movie was that Sub-Zero was the actual person to wipe out Scorpion's clan and kill his family. If you guys know much about Mortal Kombat, you know that Sub-Zero and Scorpion are basically rivals, and one of the reasons Scorpion hates Sub-Zero so much is because he thought Sub-Zero wiped out his clan and killed his family, and then you find out later that it was Quan Chi. Well, no, in the movie it really does seem like it's legitly Sub-Zero. He is an assassin for Shang Tsung. It seems to be the main assassin for Shang Tsung. Like, he's the main fighter from the villain's perspective in this movie. So very, very different from lore there. Yeah, he was a beast in this movie, and I had no problem with that, because when I think of Mortal Kombat and I think of the fighters that typically win, it's Scorpion, Liu Kang, and Sub-Zero. So when he beat Jax up in the beginning, you know, it didn't really bother me as much, especially when I realized later, at least from my understanding, Jax didn't have his power. I just didn't like the fact when he fought Liu Kang, I just thought it should have been a much more competitive fight. Like, it seems to have walked through Liu Kang, and he had his power. Like, Liu Kang had his power, so I was like, that was kind of weird. Like, it didn't. I guess the Liu Kang in this movie is not the Liu Kang we know. He's like a baby version of Liu Kang, and I didn't like that. I felt like it should have been a much more competitive fight. But I wouldn't have minded Sub-Zero winning. That would have been fine. I just didn't think it was that cool that he just ran through Liu Kang, but you know, I might be biased because I love Liu Kang. But yeah, that was the core difference in the lore right there, is that Sub-Zero seemed to be the real Sub-Zero that wiped out Scorpion's clan and killed his family. There will be sequels, I believe, so it could turn out that it was Quan Chi, but right now that doesn't seem to be the case. Now, next core change to lore was a pretty big change to me because it kind of shakes up the entire Mortal Kombat universe, and that's Cole Young. You know, Mortal Kombat has a lot of lore and history to it, so the fact they brought in a brand new character is pretty deep to me. I put this post up on my Instagram basically asking the connection between Cole Young and Scorpion, and the common answers I got was that 1, it was Scorpion's son, 2 is Takeda, which I thought that would have been really cool. And I actually thought that might be the case because I wasn't really so keen that they would actually bring in a new character, develop a new character. And 3, a descendant of Scorpion, which obviously was the right answer. I don't really know how I feel, honestly, about them bringing Cole Young into it, because again, I feel like there's so much depth to Mortal Kombat lore. They could have found a character I just feel like they could have found another character, but I thought he did a good job, and I honestly did enjoy him in the movie. And I think they should just add him to the game now, if I'm being completely honest at this point. I honestly think they should just add him to the game. I might even make a video about that because I think he'd be a good addition to the game. But yeah, that's a major change because, I mean, that affects so much of the lore. Just a brand new character, and not just a brand new character, a descendant of Scorpion, which is probably the most popular character in Mortal Kombat. The next change for me, honestly, wasn't a big deal. It was that Sub-Zero is the one who destroyed Jax's arms versus, I believe from my memory, there were 2 different cases of lore. One was Ermac was the one who destroyed Jax's arms, and another was that Jax actually decided to surgically just have metal arms implanted and fitted on him. Like, that was his choice. It weren't destroyed or anything like that. He just wanted a boost in strength. I'm not sure which one is true. I know in MK9 from that story lore that they say Ermac destroyed Jax's arms and then he had the metal arms put on there, but I'm not sure which one else is true. And more importantly, I don't know if there is a domino effect down the line that had a big effect in some form or fashion for Mortal Kombat universe later from the story because it was Ermac. Because if that's the case, then this might be a much bigger change to lore than I actually am giving it credit for. because in my brain, whether it was Ermac or Sub-Zero, it doesn't really matter. So if you guys know there's a lot more depth to the fact that when Ermac did it, please post in the comments below. I would love to hear about that. I actually really would, because I would like to know what that is. So this next one, I got mixed feelings about. From a lore perspective, I don't like it. It left a sour taste in my mouth. But from a movie perspective, I thought it was kind of a good idea. And that's that the Elder God rules didn't seem to mean much in this movie. So from a movie perspective, I think that's kind of cool because, you know, we have a sequel coming up and I'm kind of looking forward to the sequel somewhat, because in this movie, there was no Mortal Kombat tournament. Let me repeat that again. There was no Mortal Kombat tournament in this movie. This movie were basically just fights before the tournament even started, which I want to say about halfway through the movie, I was like, wait a minute, are they even going to have a tournament? Like I realized that they were fighting way before the tournament. So I think that's kind of cool because the next movie is the actual Mortal Kombat tournament, or at least I would assume that's what it is. Now, from a lore perspective, it really didn't make any sense to me. Basically, they were saying Shang Tsung has been cheating, and he basically cheated his way through the 9 Mortal Kombat tournaments. He basically killed the champions before the tournament started. How is that okay with the Elder Gods? Because it's not a fair tournament. I mean, he's probably killing people that could have won the tournament. I don't understand why they wouldn't intervene on that. And at first I was thinking like, okay, he's using Sub-Zero, and Sub-Zero is immortal, so maybe that's okay. It's like a slick way of getting around it. But then I started thinking, well, but if he's a fighter for Shang Tsung, should that count? And then when Raiden actually obviously knew, and then it didn't change anything, I was like, okay, this is kind of dumb to me. I don't really get it. And maybe there's something I'm missing there. So if there's something I'm missing there, you guys please let me know. But that left a sour taste in my mouth, if I'm being honest. It really did. Moving on to the last one, that's the last core change that I saw, was basically how you're chosen for the tournament. You have this mark of a dragon, and that basically I believe it gives you something called an arcana, which is basically a hidden power within you. And if you don't have the mark, you don't have access to that power. So if you have the mark, you're chosen and invited to the tournament. If that's my understanding of it anyway. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I appreciate it. But I didn't really like it. Now, I love the arcana concept, and I'll talk about that in a second. I didn't like the way you were chosen. It makes more sense to me for Raiden basically to be kind of like the first movie. He looks into the spirit and souls of fighters and he chooses them based on that, you know, or they just invite a bunch of fighters and then Raiden basically selects a group that he feels will have the power within them to win. That makes more sense to me versus, you know, it's being passed bloodline to bloodline. Unless they're just saying no matter what, if you're in that bloodline, you will be a fighter. I guess that's what they're trying to say, which I guess that could be okay. Or the fact like Kano, Jax, and Sonya got it from killing somebody. Like their spirit didn't really matter. Their skills didn't really matter. If they didn't kill that person that had the mark, then they technically shouldn't be in the tournament. I guess to me, I didn't really like that part. What I did like though, is I thought it was really cool that they gave a legit reason of why certain people have powers that were just regular humans and certain people don't. Now, I thought that was really cool. Overall, the movie was solid to me. It wasn't a bad movie. I thought it would be a little bit better, but for the most part, I was pretty satisfied with the movie, if I'm being completely honest. And I do think they did a good job setting up the sequel. And if the sequel is very good, then I'll be really, really happy. I'm still hopeful for the sequel. I told you guys earlier, I didn't really like Liu Kang's one of my favorite characters. I love Sub-Zero in this movie. I love Scorpion in this movie. I didn't like Liu Kang. He was very weak to me in comparison, which I didn't think was cool. But it seemed to me like Kung Lao was more like the much better fighter than Liu Kang, and Liu Kang to me came across as like the little brother or the little cousin. So maybe in a sequel Liu Kang will be much more established. I look forward to seeing that. Cole Young to me was also weak for him to be the main character. He didn't really start winning fights to me until he got his Arcana, and his Arcana was like broken strong, and it wasn't really skill based. It was just he had such a strong power that he was able to start beating people up. So I am actually looking forward to seeing him be very skillful in the sequel as well. Anyway, if you guys like this content, please consider liking and subscribing. All support is greatly appreciated. This is Acid Light. You guys take care.